George Springer will be leading it off. This is the finale of the 4-game series between the Astros and the Texas Rangers. Texas winning the first 2 one-run games, 6-5 on Monday, 4-3 on Tuesday. The Astros returning the favor with a 3-1 win last night here at Globe Life Park, snapping that 0-for-8 this season against the Texas Rangers, a 12-game losing streak here in Arlington. Springer led the game off last night with his 14th home run of the season, hitting .281 with 14 home runs and 37 runs batted in, and a ground ball to Andrus, and there's one away. Here's our Astros starting lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. Altuve up next, followed by Carlos Correa in the 3-hole. Evan Gattis will start tonight. He is in the 4-hole. Marwin Gonzalez is at first base. Valbuena plays third, starting to swing a hot bat. Carlos Gomez is in center field. Tyler White, the designated hitter, hitting 8th today, followed by Jake Marisnick in left. He is hitting 9th. A.J. Hinch's ball club looking for the split of this series as Altuve takes strike 1. Martin Perez, one of the best ground ball pitchers you will find. Induces a lot of double plays. That's his game. .336 hitter Altuve, 10 homers, 36 runs batted in. Jose, a big series so far. A .362 hitter on the road. Fouled back a ball and 2 strikes. 90 degrees here in North Texas. And if you're not sitting directly in the sun, not a bad day at the ballpark. That one way outside. Perez, a 25-year-old Venezuelan, making his 13th start. 4-4 with a .324 ERA. The crowds the last couple of nights, 37,000 here last night. Altuve stay back for that one and fouls it off.
A little bit of a breaking ball from Martin Perez. He's got a fastball around 92, 93 miles an hour. Likes to throw it. About 65% of the time you're going to see that pitch. Has a good changeup to go with it. Slider and a curveball.
Hit the bull. That thing was
it's
way
dangerous.
Outside.
Not going to make Julia happy by hitting the mascots.
Well, Altuve putting together quite a series. And again, last night coming up with that 2-run double that put the Astros up. That was in the 7th inning. The 2-run double put the Astros up 3-1. That one fouled back again. 2 for 3 last night. 5 for 11 so far in the series. Again, I talked about it last night, just a guy that when you watch him on a day in and day out basis, you realize just how good he is. That time, though, went out of the zone, swung at a high pitch, and Perez gets the strikeout.
Batting third, the shortstop, number 1.
Took a look at that pitch on our strike zone, brought to you by MD Anderson. Working him away, finally beats him up and away. Might have been a little bit of a slider that just didn't break.
Here's Carlos Correa trying to snap an 0-for-11 here in the series. .254 hitter with 8 home runs and 32 runs batted in. Batting with 2 outs here in the first inning. That's in there for a strike. Rangers at 36-23. The Astros 29-32. Rangers with a 3-game lead on Seattle in the American League West. That's a low ball, 1-1. That one hit hard, the 3rd hit of his career on Martin Perez. Correa now 3 for 10 in his career against Perez. Astros have a man aboard with 2 outs in the first.
And Evan Gattis coming to the plate, and our power player of the game is going to be Evan Gattis, and it's the numbers he has against left-handed starting pitcher Martin Perez. Get to see some of the highlights of him facing him. Pulled one to left. Hey, shocker, he got a triple last year off Martin Perez. There's a long list, but going the other way, does a good job of picking up that baseball, and if he gets a pitch to drive, he's going to one-hand you out of the ballpark.
His 10th start behind the dish, hits that one hard, but right at Rougned Odor. And Odor throws him out. Half inning in the books. The Astros a hit. They leave a man. Rangers coming to bat.
Kroger presents today's Texas Interview.
Astro fans looking for a winning streak here in this ballpark. Been a long time. Got a big 3-1 win last night. Looking to build on that. Texas Rangers starting lineup. Jurickson Profar, who had the day off yesterday, but man, he just keeps on hitting. He's hitting all 11 games that he has played in the big leagues this season. Ian Desmond with a very nice series. Nomar Mazara bats third. Rupnid Odor, the second baseman, hitting cleanup today, followed by Ryan Rua and Prince Fielder. Elvis Andrus in the 7th hole. Mitch Moreland bats 8th and plays first base. And Brian Holiday gets the start behind the plate and bats 9th for Jeff Bannister's club as Colin McHugh facing the Texas Rangers and making his 13th start of the season. He has been really good against Texas, and he's been really good for the Astros here as of late.
Got that first career complete game 2 starts ago when he went 9 innings against Arizona in Arizona. Only gave up 3 runs in that ball game, had 8 punch-outs.
That's in there for a strike.
What's interesting about Colin McHugh is the pitch mix that he comes with. It's fastball, cutter, curveball, and he throws them all about 30% of the time. He'll mix in that changeup sparingly.
You see the numbers on Profar. Got him way out in front of that one. This is the 3rd game Profar has played in this series, and he's playing the 3rd different position. He started at second base, he started at first, and now today for Adrian Beltre.
Yeah, I think we're finding out that the Texas Rangers are going to try and turn Profar into that super utility type ball player, but I guarantee you that way he's swinging the bat is the reason why they're moving him around, trying to keep him in that lineup.
You keep hitting 380, they're not going to have to try to keep you in the lineup.
Create a position for you.
I was going to say other people are going to have to try to get back in the lineup. Relatively speaking, they play him fairly straight up. Rolls over on this one. Marwin Gonzalez will take it himself. Marwin at first, Altuve at second, Correa and Valbuena on the infield for the Astros. Marisnik in left, Gomez in center, and Springer in right, Gaddis behind the plate. Ian Desmond steps in. Desmond made an outstanding defensive play last night as pretty much a career shortstop, getting started center field and was able to gun down Jason Castro at the plate, what could very well have been a turning point in that game. That's in for a strike. McHugh misses there, 1-1. A little while ago, we had a little bit of cloud cover, and it was nice. Now it's starting to heat up just a little bit as the clouds make their way out. Again, hit well down the right side, but well foul. One ball and 2 strikes. Ian Desmond hitting .368 in this ballpark. And when it heats up, you know all too well, you follow this game. This ball travels in this ballpark. Good hitter's ballpark anyway. It's outside 2-2. Doug Fister started last night. Didn't factor the decision, but pitched great for the Astros. Came up with 6 strong innings, allowing just 1 run. The Astros pitchers have been on quite a roll here as of late. And then Kyle McHugh comes away with a strikeout there. 2 outs.
Good cutter with late life. Threw it firm, too. 88 miles an hour. Late bite. No chance for Ian.
Yes, it's May 1st. The Astros with the 2nd lowest ERA. That has been the difference in success and failure for this team. Mazara takes for a strike. Omar Mazara leading all rookies in so many different categories. 321 hitter, 10 homers, 27 runs batted in. Rangers had 10 hits last night. Mazara was the only one with a multi-hit game. He had 2 knocks. 1-1. Spun on that one and hit it foul. I think they've extended the netting here at Globe Life Park a little bit.
Yeah, they have. They've got the netting up on top of the dugouts. It's good to see.
It's inside a ball.
I wish more ball clubs would do it. I'm a big fan of it.
The 2-2. Just outside. Well, Mazara, for 21 years old, so very disciplined. You see Gaddis set up off the plate. He hit the mitt. Mazara just 21 years old. Pulled the string and got him with an off-speed pitch. 75-mile-an-hour curveball. Well, a couple of strikeouts in that first inning. We go to the second scoreless. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Lexus, the new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Astro fans making their way in. She's not going to wear the blue and orange. She'll wear her pink. But cheering for the right team. Astros and Rangers scoreless as we go to the second inning, and Marwin Gonzalez leads off here in the second. Marwin in the batting 5th today. Been swinging it well here as of late. Arwin hitting .417 in the series. That's that one to Profar. He'll throw across, and there's one away. Luis Valbuena's turn. Valbuena has the average up to 240. The fact that he's 4 for 8 in this series hasn't hurt.
Well, that's doing some work too, considering the April he had. It was a rough start for Luis, but doing a good job going up the middle the other way. It's actually getting some mistakes and driving them. It's nice to see.
Lefty on lefty here. Rips that one down the line. It's a fair ball. And Valbuena will cruise into second with a double. Got one to hit. He spun on it, didn't miss it. Valbuena in. His 10th double of the season. The Astros have a man aboard with one out in scoring position.
Good rip. Got that fastball in the inside corner, 91. Snuck it inside that line.
Gomez looking for his second hit of the series. His first hit and only hit a home run. Swings at a high pitch there. 0-1. He homered on Tuesday night, his second home run of the season. .186 hitter. As Valbuena leads away from second. It's off the plate. 1-1.
It's hard to believe there's somebody higher at swinging the first pitch than Carlos Gomez. He is aggressive.
Fouls that one off to down the right side. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
To me, are those first couple swings from Carlos a little toned down compared to what we're used to?
They were certainly not the aggressive hacks that we've been used to. And you could, fair to say, overly aggressive swings that he's had in the games here leading up. Perez, a 25-year-old Venezuelan, underwent Tommy John surgery. Made his return last season. Faced the Astros 3 times as he returned in July. And the Astros beat him twice, but he pitched well against Houston. The 1-2 outside. Gomez right back in the count at 2-2. That one hit foul. Well, Perez, as advertised, a lot of ground balls. He's a tough guy to. He's a tough guy. He doesn't really give up home runs. Just a hard guy to really lift the baseball. That's his MO. That's how he makes his living. And he's gotten in a couple of jams in his last couple of starts and has been able to pitch his way out of it.
Yeah, that ground ball helps out, doesn't it? Pitcher's best friend being that double play ball.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Valbuena leads away from second base. That one popped up. Odor out. Mazzara will come in, and Mazzara makes the play. 2 away for Tyler White. This is the finale of a 4-game series. The Astros will head on to Tampa from here. 3-game series over the weekend, day off, and then on to St. Louis for 2. Get a taste of the old National League Central.
Back in it.
Yep, St. Louis and Cincinnati coming up over the next few days.
Speaking of old, I got to send out a shout out to Adam Everett and the boys down in Corpus Christi who are watching this ball game. Adam now roving around, helping out some young kids with their footwork, with their glove work, doing a great job.
That one foul down the right side. Tyler White steps in, hitting .219 with those 7 home runs and 19 runs batted in. He got his work done early, but he's struggled since. Designated hitter hitting 8th with 2 outs and an 0-1 pitch here from Martin Perez. Valbuena doubled. Marwin grounded out to start the inning. Valbuena then doubled, followed by Carlos Gomez, who flied out to right. Gets him swinging there. Tyler, a native of Mooresboro, North Carolina. Do you like day games or night games better?
I liked how the ball traveled during the day, but I hated day games. Still do.
Just the whole rhythm.
It just throws everything out of whack. But I do appreciate them in the fact that on getaway days, they're spectacular. Because we've had some night getaway games this season, and it's tough on us, but it's extremely tough on the player.
Outside of ball. Tyler did not play last night. Tuesday night, he went 1 for 3 with a single. 6th time this year he has started at the designated hitter spot. The 2-2. That one popped up. Mazzara in. Makes the play, retires the side. After an inning and a half, we're scoreless in Arlington.
Astro poll. Make sure to head over to the Root Sports SW Twitter page to vote in the poll. It's the 2016 MLB first-year player draft tonight, so we're asking you which component of modern team building is the most important. Is it the draft, free agency, trades, or waivers and international? Teams get built a lot of different ways. We want to hear what your thoughts are on this, and we'll tell you who wins later in the broadcast, guys.
My general philosophy of test taking is pick C a lot, but I would go with A on that one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And it also depends on the organization, you know, how much money they have. You have the money to go out there and buy those free agents. Those teams have a tendency to do that, but I'm with you. We've seen it here with the Houston Astros. That draft has been great for them.
Well, you draft right, obviously you get good young players, and good young players, you can afford to have more of those good young players. Odor takes high, a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Is Rougned Odor now the hitting cleanup today? He's been up and down the order. Led off last night. 266 hitter, 8 home runs, 28 runs batted in, swings and misses. Alan McHugh on the mound for the Astros facing Odor. The weird thing about Odor is, we talked about this before, he actually hits lefties better than he does right-handers.
Considerably better.
That one hit the center field. Gomez back into his right and makes the play. One away here in the second inning for Ryan Rua. Rua drove in a run on Tuesday night with a big double. These two teams get together. They have been close baseball games. This series has been no exception. Rangers won the first 2 games in 1-run fashion, 6-5 and 4-3. And today, or beg your pardon, last night, the Astros with that 2-run 7th inning held on to win it 3-1.
Yeah,
Rua takes ball 1.
Last 2 ball games have been great.
Really
well
have.
pitched, some pretty good defense being played, big hits. First game was really the only one that just seemed really off kilter for the Houston Astros and the Rangers. Rangers had 3 errors in that first game.
And the Astros seemed like they had the leadoff man on. They had him on in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th innings.
That's right.
Just couldn't get him over and get him in. 2-1. Rua hitting .400 on this homestand. Two balls and 2 strikes. Since that terrible start to start the season for Colin McHugh, he's gone 5-3 with an ERA of just over 4. Valbuena throws across, and there's 2 outs. Nice play by Luis Valbuena.
Great play. Good angle to look at it. Good set. That's the thing about third base. You really don't have that time to take that extra step, field that ball in the prone position. I mean, in the stand-up position, because you have to keep your eye on the ball. There's not enough time to get the footwork right. So he did a good job of leaning that way, knowing he had enough range and reach to get that ball in his glove. Made sure he made the stop. Popped up, showed that strong arm.
A Prince Fielder who had a hit last night. Those have been few and far between, hitting just .192 with 3 home runs and 29 runs batted in. I told you before the season started that in early June, Prince Fielder would only have 3 home runs. You would either think that he had spent a lot of time on the disabled list, or you wouldn't believe me.
Especially in this ballpark, I thought that signing here for Prince Fielder would be a great thing for him and the Rangers, but there's been a scuffle.
Marisnick there to make the play, and that'll retire the side. Through 2, remain scoreless.
Rangers, we go to the third here in Arlington. And we showed you our Chevy Store poll a second ago. This may sway you if you haven't voted yet. We're looking at the Astros' current 25-man roster and how it was built. How about these numbers? 7 via the draft coming up through the Astros system there. 8 by trade, 6 free agents, and then of course there's some waiver guys in there that were claimed, and then international signings. Very interesting there. But you know, talking about the draft, this is one of those days where these players, even the coaching staff, even AJ Hinch talking about it, just a day for them to reflect back where they were, their draft story. A lot of guys have different stories, whether it was very exciting that day, very disappointing that day, just very stressful, and whether they sign or not sign, go to college, not go to college. A lot of really interesting stories as you get to know some of these guys. But my favorite story from last year when Carlos Correa made his debut, the draft was on in the clubhouse, guys. I'm sure you've probably heard this. George Springer sees Alex Bregman being taken by the Astros. The shortstop, Alex Bregman, says, "Correa, you just lost your job. Congrats. You're moving to third base." Messing with him a little bit. They still go back and forth about that, guys.
Yep, #1 overall pick there, Carlos Correa. Jake Marisnick was a third-round pick of the Toronto Blue Jays in 2009 and was later traded to the Astros from the Marlins. Hits that one to the warning track. But Desmond there to make that play. Danny Wirth and Alex Bregman both doing work in the minor leagues. Bregman, you look at the numbers, the 408 OPS. Danny Wirth, we got a good look at him in Florida at spring training, hitting .345.
Yeah, those are great numbers. Bregman looking to make that move to AAA, get one step closer to his dream. Danny Wirth has experience in the big leagues. He might be a piece that the Astros could use here a lot sooner.
There's that former first-round pick out of the University of Connecticut, George Springer. Grounded out back in the first inning. Hits that one hard. The right field line just did a little bit late on that one as the ball kind of got in on him. Rich Dower had to skip rope down there.
I think his skipping rope days might be behind him, at least his better ones. Still got some ability to get out of the way.
Just missed. Martin Perez in this building, 4-1 with a .255 ERA here in Arlington. And he's thrown 7 quality starts in his last 8 trips to the mound. Given up a couple of hits so far here in the first couple of innings, but the Astros not able to really materialize and come up with a big hit. They had a runner in scoring position with Valbuena with that 2-base hit, but nothing doing. Martin Perez able to close the door. Full count. Robinson Chirinos has been activated by the Texas Rangers off the 60-day disabled list, so now they're carrying 3 catchers on their roster. Luke Jackson, who pitched in last night's game, he was optioned down to Round Rock.
Some moves being made, getting Chirinos and the 3 catchers on that roster.
Springer takes ball 4.
Houston Methodist brings us our league leaders. Position players who are war leaders. Mike Trout, sabermetric superstar, leading the way. Altuve right behind him. How about 4 of the top 5 being in the American League? George Springer on that list. Wins above replacement. 2 of the 5 Astros.
Here's the other one. Jose Altuve struck out in the first inning. Something you don't see from him very often. He chased a ball out of the zone to strike out in the first. Springer leads away from first.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch the replay of that pitch that struck Altuve out. It looked like it might have been a little bit of a cement mixer, and Altuve does a good job of recognizing spin. Was probably anticipating that ball breaking. It just didn't. That's why he kind of waved at it out of the zone.
The Astros have been aggressive on the base paths in this series. They wasted no time against the left-hander Cole Hamels the other day. That one's fouled off a couple of days ago. They were, well, give you an idea how aggressive they've been as far as stealing bases. As last night, Jason Castro got a bag. He stole second base on an 0-2 pitch. Altuve 5 for 12 in the series, just continues to hit.
I didn't see AJ before the game. It would have been fun to ask him about that Castro stolen base. Did you give the sign to the catcher? Did you not?
What was your reaction?
Did he have the green light? Yeah. And then how did your heart feel when you saw him halfway to second in the middle of that pitch?
Well, Bobby Wilson couldn't handle the pitch. That one hit into right. The Astros have something going here in the third. Jose Altuve, yet another knock, and the Astros have first and second with one out.
Good piece of hitting, taking the inside pitch and going the other way.
Which brings up Carlos Correa, who has one of the 3 Astro hits. Correa singled back in the first inning. That snapped an 0 for 11 in this series.
Yeah, his numbers against the Rangers are not good. And you hate to put a lot of heat on a young player, only Correa's second season, but he is hitting 3-hole on a potential playoff team, so the expectations are put on him just because of the situation. And if you're the Rangers and you know you can keep the opposing team's 3-hole hitter at a 118 average, you're doing some good things.
That misses a ball. So Correa ahead in the count here to start. Top of the third inning, we're scoreless. McHugh has retired the first 6 men he has faced. Martin Perez working out of a mini jam here, trying to. That's way upstairs. 2-0.
Here we go. 2-0 count. Martin Perez doesn't give in with runners on base. Has an excellent changeup. But if I'm Carlos Correa, I'm going to guess fastball, and I'm going to look on the location of the plate. Maybe that outer third, because Carlos likes to drive that ball the other way and try and just crush that baseball right back up the middle. Big gap in right center field.
A 2-0 to Correa. Swings through that one. Good cut. Got a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, just missed it.
I like the aggressiveness.
Springer walked. He's at second base. And Jose Altuve with a single. Astros have first and second with one out here in the third inning. Carlos Correa now even in the count at 2-2. Three and two. And it's kind of been the MO when you look at when the Astros do face Martin Perez. And a lot of traffic, but they haven't been able to push a lot of runs across.
All that traffic turns into a traffic jam.
Yeah. 1 and 2 last year as he faced them 3 times, but the ERA right around 2. Springer leads away from second. Altuve from first, and now they'll move up. Ball 4 to Correa. And the bases are loaded with one out for Evan Gattis, and here comes Doug Brocail.
Faith and Family Night presented by Chick-fil-A is back in 2016. Christian musician Brandon Heath performs a post-game concert on Saturday, June 18th after the Astros take on the Reds. For more information, visit astros.com/faith or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
They're passing out sunblock here today in the stands. Doug Brocail going out to meet with his young pitcher. You know, Perez was a guy that was thought of as a, an amped up type of a pitcher. Every once in a while, you got to go out. I think Doug Brocail just going out and settling him down just a little bit.
And talk to him a little bit. Maybe notice something in the mechanics, because 2 walks in this inning and a base hit have led to this bases-loaded situation for Evan Gattis, who has great numbers against Martin Perez.
And no one better at inducing the double play than Martin Perez. That one misses upstairs. Gattis grounded out his first time up and hit the ball hard. Squared it up to Odor. That one hit to right field. Lazaro make the play, and George Springer will come in to score the first run of the game. A sacrifice fly and an RBI for Evan Gattis, his 24th RBI of the season, and the Astros are on the board first.
First baseman Marlins Gonzalez.
Good job by Evan Gattis. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. You're looking for something you can drive to the outfield. He does a good job with this fastball he gets. Lets it travel a little bit, get deep on it, go the other way with it. Astros are on the board.
That'll bring up Marwin Gonzalez. Astros scored first last night. Doing it one more time here. Astros looking for a split of this series.
That would be huge.
Yes. Before heading on to Tampa. Marwin with 2 men on. Takes the off-speed pitch, strike 1.
Astros are 17-11 when they do score first.
Astros snapped their 8-game losing streak to the Texas Rangers last night. Beat the Rangers for the first time in 2016. Snapped a 12-game losing streak here at Globe Life Park. We talked over and over about how sooner or later you get the feeling that things have to even out eventually. That one hit foul down the left field line. A couple of notes from last night's game. Yu Darvish left last night's game with shoulder inflammation or shoulder soreness, and he left after 5 innings last night. The report is he threw today and is scheduled to throw his bullpen tomorrow in Seattle. Yesterday was the first time he had pitched on regular rest. Also, Adrian Beltre tweaked that hamstring yesterday. Obviously not in the lineup today, the day game after the night game, as Profar gets the start at third base. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Marwin Gonzalez. 2 men on. Astros have already left 2 in the first 2 innings. Here's the pitch, and that one hit into center field. Altuve comes around third base, and 2-out hitting from Marwin Gonzalez, and the Astros lead it 2-0.
Nice piece of hitting. Astros getting to Martin Perez here. Good job of staying on that pitch. Not easy to do. Down and away. Right back up the middle. Check it out on our Supermo, brought to you by Mattress Firm. With 2 outs, Altuve's speed at second base. He scores easy.
Now here's Valbuena, who is 5 for 9 in the series after doubling in his first at bat. Astros putting up a 2 spot here in the 3rd. That one fouled back. Now 91 degrees here at the ballpark. Valbuena hits that one on the ground slowly, and Andrus will throw him out, but the Astros score a couple of times on 2 hits and leave 2 and lead it 2-0.
Back, and George Springer has made some pretty epic catches in his career. Some of them right here at Globe Life Park. This one back in the center field days, ramming into that center field wall, taking away extra bases. That one back home at Minute Maid Park. Absolutely no fear going into any of these ballparks that he goes into, whether he knows them or not. He will sacrifice every inch of that body for his pitching staff. That'll give us a chance to look at our Lexus defensive ratings. And of course, George Springer is a Red. He's hyper athletic, aggressive to the baseball, good hands, great arm, good accuracy. Jake Marisnick, also a very good athlete who's aggressive to the baseball, and we've seen that he has a high velocity arm out there too. Carlos Gomez, still a little bit of life left in those legs, but the accuracy for me is why he has that yellow light in center field.
Well, McHugh has retired the first 6 men he faced. He will face Elvis Andrus to lead off here in the 3rd inning. There's a 284 hitter. He snapped a long 0 for with a hit last night. He had an 0 for 12 working before that double. Andrus quickly jumps ahead in the count, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Now it's 3-0. Colin McHugh, you put the numbers, you can put his numbers against just about anyone's over the last couple of years. Here's the 3-0. Walked him on 4 straight pitches.
First base runner of the game against Colin McHugh. I don't know what it is. Every time the Astros seem to score, it seems that next inning becomes an issue. You hope it doesn't right here with this leadoff walk.
It brings up Mitch Moreland, who was a 208 hitter. He has really had his struggles. Saw the numbers, 118 this month, but he did have a double last night. Almost looked like a check swing that went all the way to the wall, and McHugh is really out of sync. This is badly there. Almost got it out of here. Hit it right off the top of the wall above the scoreboard in left field.
I'm with you. I couldn't believe it when I saw the swing, and then all of a sudden the ball just jumped off his bat.
Now he goes to the off-speed pitch. You'll see pitchers, veterans that want to try to change things up a little bit, maybe lose command of that fastball a couple of times. They'll go to a breaking ball to kind of get back into that rhythm.
And that's really been the case over the year for Colin McHugh, missing on that arm side away from left-handed hitters, so he'll throw the cutter and curveball to get back on the plate.
Now he's ahead in the count, 1-2. Only David Price and Felix Hernandez have won more games than Colin McHugh and Dallas Keuchel since 2014. Pretty heady company.
He racked up W's, and he gets a crazy amount of run support, over 6.5 runs a game in starts for Colin McHugh.
That just missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes, isn't it? It's strange how that works, and it's total coincidence. It's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time. You'll see it with guys that get big run support. You'll see it with relievers that will come in and they'll pick up 4 or 5 victories, and it's just a matter of they were in at the right time. 2-2 pitch to Mitch Moreland.
Sure, the offense doesn't just like him better.
And Moreland rips this one down the right field line, and it's fair. Andrus being waved around. He'll score, and an RBI double for Mitch Moreland. It goes without saying, the Astros would have loved nothing better to go out and throw up a goose egg after putting a 2 spot on the board, but Rangers have a run in and nobody out.
That was a changeup, and it stayed middle down. Pretty easy for Moreland to stay on that pitch, even though it was down in the zone. That's that happy spot where you don't have to do much except just drop the head on it.
Now to the 9-hole, Brian Holiday getting the start today at catcher. Holliday acquired right after spring training, right before the season started. Came over from the Detroit Tigers with Wilson, who's been starting the last couple of nights. Robinson Chirinos, the other catcher, being activated today off the 60-day disabled list. Fouled back, and Collin is ahead in the count 0-2. Holliday, a .253 hitter, a couple of home runs. He's driven in 13 runs. The 0-2 pitch. That one hit hard into left field, a base hit. Moreland had to hold up for a moment, so he'll make it to third, and now first and third with nobody out. The first 3 men have reached in the inning.
Bottom part of the Rangers lineup has just been a complete nuisance in this series against Astros pitching. First game they were held quiet. Second game is where they really came alive with Bobby Wilson, the other catcher, getting a bomb, a base hit. Ryan Rule was in that mix. Now today you're seeing it.
And having to face now a .380 hitter in Jurickson Profar. With nobody out and runners on the corners. Astros put a 2 spot on the board in the top half of the inning. Sacrifice fly by Gaddis, an RBI single by Marwin Gonzalez. Rangers trying to answer right back. It's outside a ball. Andrews led off the inning with the walk when Moreland doubled, and Brian Holliday just drives in the first run of the day for the Texas Rangers. Beg your pardon, it was Moreland who had the RBI. Profar hits that one right at Altuve. Not going to be able to make the play, and the game is tied. That was a bullet right at Altuve, lost his footing, fell over backwards, and now runners at first and second with nobody out. We're tied at 2.
That ball literally knocked Altuve over. Ball smoked off the bat of Profar. Had the day off yesterday. You hope that would have cooled him off a little bit, but still barreling the baseball up. Caught Altuve on his heels. You can see right there catching it as he's going down. He would have liked to have kept the handle on that and made that throw at least to get the lead runner. But again, a strange situation where the Rangers are at the advantage again. It's unbelievable.
Third hit of the inning after Colin McHugh had retired the first 6 men he faced. Now first and second, nobody out. Ian Desmond, who struck out back in the first inning, is in there for a strike as he tried to bunt. Rangers won the first 2 of the series. The Astros answered back last night with a 3-1 victory. McHugh ahead in the count, 0-2. Time is called. You trying to limit damage here. Good pitch, and he gets Desmond for the first out of the inning.
Second time he's got Ian. First AB was a cutter. This one on the hard breaking ball down out of the zone. Gets Ian Desmond a chase. Big first out in this inning. Still has the double play in order. This is a tough guy at the plate to try and double up as well as he's been swinging the bat.
Had 2 hits last night. Mazara steps in 0 for 1, struck out in that first inning. Leads all rookies in hits, total bases, runs batted in, on base percentage, and slugging. Oh, by the way, he's second in home runs with 10. Allen gets ahead in the count, 0-1. One out here in the third inning. Rangers with a couple of runs in. After the Astros put 2 on the board, Rangers answer right back. They'll even the count at 1-1. Debuted earlier this season at the age of 20. 3-hit game in his first game ever in the big leagues. One pitch to Mazzara. 2-1. Getaway day for both these teams. The Astros heading on to Tampa. Texas will go to Seattle after this one. That one hit along the left side, through the hole. Marisnik comes up throwing, and he's safe at the plate. It's 3-2 Texas.
You see Carlos Correa well up the middle, leaving that hole at the 6 hole. Mazzara does a good job. 2-1 count, I think. Colin McHugh was trying to get that cutter in there, but Mazzara does a better job of fighting it off, going the other way with a good firm ground ball through the infield. Just that little hesitation for Jake Marisnik allowed Holliday to score. See Evan Gattis set up in, and that he wanted to come right back where that first pitch was, but this one catches way too much of the plate.
Well, Brent Strom, if nothing else, going out there just to give McHugh a bit of a break. Knows what to do with outside pitches. Very disciplined hitter, especially for a young guy. So now again, first and second with 1 out. 3 runs in here in the inning for the Texas Rangers. Spin move, nobody covering. One and 0. Rougned Odor hitting cleanup today. He has not had this kind of series that we're used to seeing Rougned Odor have against the Astros. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Since the start of last season, Odor, a 300 hitter against Houston, 304, 4 doubles, 4 triples, 4 homers. So far, a 23-pitch third inning after a very economical first 2 innings for Colin McHugh. It's 6 up, 6 down. That's in there for a strike. Now there's action going in the Astros bullpen. Kristovenski warming up. McHugh walked Andrus to start the inning. Then Moreland with a double. Holliday with an RBI single out of the 9 hole. And then Profar with a single. You got Ian Desmond swinging, and then Nomar Mazzara with a big RBI single. Puts Texas up 3-2, and Odor strikes out. 8th man to bat in the inning. If you just turned it on for the 3rd inning, you've seen everything you need to see so far. Astros with 2 in the top of the third. Rangers here with 3 in the bottom of the third. McHugh trying to keep it right there.
Exactly, limit damage, but again, putting up squiggly numbers after your team has done the same thing. It's kind of a blow to the ego. But Colin McHugh, as many runs as he does give up, the offense always seems to pick him up, so he would like to keep this close right here.
Missed inside there. Gaddis for a moment couldn't find it. Runners will have to hold. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the third inning. Rua fouls that one off. It is amazing just how quickly, though, it can unravel, and that's for any pitcher. You see a guy go through, 6 up, 6 down. It looks like he's barely breaking a sweat, and then all of a sudden he can't find the strike zone to come out here in the third inning.
It's tough. Especially in this series, too. It seems like every inning is vital to each ball game.
And he got him looking. So McHugh gets out of it, but not before the Rangers score 3 on 4 hits and leave 2. Take the 3-2 lead.
Now top of the 4th. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices with MLB.TV Premium, which includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Kevin?
Stay out of the sun down there.
I'm getting called out.
You could have played along.
Just don't want you to.
I was in the sun.
Don't want you to get sunburned.
The first 3 innings, I was wearing it, but I found some shade.
There you go. Carlos Gomez, swing and a miss. Well, Martin Perez had to sit for a while during that long half inning. The Texas Rangers lead the Astros 3-2. 1-2. Gomez flied out to right his first at bat. Average down around 185. That's in there for a strike. Bring up Tyler White. The Astros hoping to get some damage done out of the bottom half of their order, the bottom third of their order. That's certainly where the Rangers did their damage.
It was good to see Martin Perez. You could see how aggressive he is with that fastball, but he understood too that his offense got him back in the ball game, picked him up after the Astros scored 2 off him. He sat on that bench for a little bit, watched the Rangers offense take advantage of a walk to lead off. Now he comes out, first hitter of the inning, pounds the zone, gets ahead early, and then gets the punch out to keep that first runner off the board.
And I can see where, you know, I guess it depends on who it is, but you can break a good rhythm by having that long half inning. That said, if it's a long half inning, that means your offense is doing some damage. But on a warm day like this, you might be able to go in and regroup a little bit, too.
Exactly. That's a great call. Because you can't, if a guy is in a rhythm, well, shoot, you can go back to what the Astros did. Colin McHugh in the first 6 outs of the game for him were great. Sat there, watched his offense go out there, score a couple runs, sat around a little bit, came out, walked the first guy. So that's kind of the argument on the other side. But Martin Perez, just judging in that first at bat against Carlos Perez, seemed pretty excited about that 3-run lead, or the 3 runs that he got from the Rangers offense to give him that lead.
Punched Gomez out quickly. Now ahead of the count of Tyler White, 1-2. White will step out. Tyler flied out to right field back in the 2nd inning.
And right before I saw Tyler White put up that arm for timeout, I was just going to mention the fact that Martin Perez is also pitching with a pretty good pace.
Want to break the rhythm a little bit?
Exactly. Call timeout, step out, get that fake pebble out of your eye.
Yep. Fouled off along the right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Retie your shoe. Adjust the batting gloves for the 58th time.
That is a quality umbrella right there.
That is some coverage, isn't it? Veteran move.
You have room for Julia under that.
Gotta take care of those young kids every now and then.
Slow breaking ball outside. 3-2. The 3-2 pitch way outside a ball. Tyler White will take his base. 3rd walk issued by Martin Perez. Perez making his 13th start of the season. Last time out, they've scored some runs for him. A 10-4 win over Seattle. He gave up just 3 runs in 6 innings of work in that one. There's Jake Marisnick. Flied out to center. Sent Ian Desmond to the warning track. That was back in the 3rd inning. Batting here with 1 out and a man on. Look out. Boy, the Nets paid dividends there. That ball was shot right above the Rangers dugout. And they have that netting down there above the Rangers dugout. Right into the net.
Thankfully.
That was a bullet, too.
Scud.
Astros got 2 in the top of the 3rd. Rangers answered with a 3 spot. Marisnick hits this one to center field. Desmond goes back, and he'll make the play. So the 2nd time in 2 at-bats that Jake Marisnick has sent Ian Desmond to the warning track. He only has 2 outs to show for it.
Man, those are 2 swings where he just missed. You know, a couple of millimeters difference. He might have 2 bombs in this game, but here he's just sending Ian Desmond off to the races. Brought the hands in good. You were hoping on this day game he might get a little extra life on that. But instead, it's just enough for Ian Desmond to go back there and make the play up against the wall.
Turns the order over to George Springer. And a walk in the 3rd would later score. Scored on Evan Gattis' sacrifice fly. Fouled off. And Perez, a guy looking to get ahead in the count early. Astros looking to be aggressive early in the count. Texas with a 3-game lead on the Seattle Mariners in the American League West. Swing and a miss by Springer.
Good changeup.
Rangers have gone 5-1 on this 7-game homestand. Swept Seattle before the Astros came in and won the first 2 of the series here against Houston. Astros looking to get out of town with a split. That's high a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Well, the Rangers at 36-23. That is tied for the best start in franchise history after 59 games. Springer spoils that pitch. Best record in the American League. Tied with Washington for the second best record in the major leagues. Cubs with the best record. They're playing in a different league, a league of their own.
Man, you ain't lying. A record-setting pace. You see their entire pitching staff has an ERA under 3.
It's ridiculous. Springer,
would you be able to manage that team? Good chance.
I don't think there's. Yeah, I really do. I think, and it's. I don't say that a whole lot for a whole lot of.
I would have faith in you with that roster.
I'd hire you as a bench coach.
That would be fun. Sit back and just enjoy the show.
Texas leading at 3-2. Springer hits that one on the ground to Elvis Andrus. He'll throw across to Odor. That'll retire the side. Well, after 3.5, the Rangers leading the Astros 3-2.
Rangers lead the Astros at the bottom of the 4th. Come celebrate your birthday the Astros way. Cheer on the Astros while throwing a birthday party at Minute Maid Park. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 713-259-8996. Before the game today, the Astros dugout looked more like a zoo, guys. We're going to have some video
that was
for you in a second.
A wild kingdom down there.
So I head to the dugout, and there's an anaconda hanging out.
Look at this.
Not what I expected to see, but they had kids in the crowd today early, and they brought out all these animals. You see the skipper getting in. He was petting the owl. They had a couple of owls. One of the owls' name was Cougar, which made no sense if you're a Houstonian. You can't really mix those two. They had this penguin. Then they had a cheetah.
Okay.
But the cheetah wasn't feeling too well, was what I heard. They didn't give him a practice round, so they were going to, I guess, bring him out and let him walk around, but he wasn't up to it. He wasn't feeling up to it, so they left him in its little cage and shipped him out of here.
Cheetahs are moody.
I was doing the pregame show. I told you this story before the game. We were in San Diego. It was San Diego Zoo Day, and we were set up down along the warning track there at third base, and they were bringing all the animals, this animal parade behind me, and all kind of cool animals came out. And this cheetah stopped. And once they got a half moon or after they dug out the dugout, the last animal was the cheetah, and it stopped right by me. And it popped up and out of play. And it was so disconcerting. I'm sitting here doing the pregame show, and I'm trying to look at the camera knowing full well that that cheetah is staring at the back of my head.
Yeah, you're just a piece of meat.
And I'm thinking to myself, should I trust this guy who's holding this cheetah? And you're amazed. You know, you're in a zoo, they're in an enclosure. You don't know how close. You don't realize how big they are because you're not that close to them. It's like picture a Great Dane and some.
Did you wear that bacon cologne again? Would have been a bad day for it, huh? O-Day bacon.
Yeah, well, here I am trusting some guy that looked quite disinterested, holding the chain of this cheetah.
Yeah, you need a little more focus out of the trainer.
And I thought, man, there's no way to go out.
Are you kidding me? That would have been epic. It would have been on video and everything.
Yeah, that one ripped into right field, and it's gone. Fielder just his 4th home run of the season. Well, he greets Colin McHugh here in the 4th, and the Rangers extend their lead to 4-2.
Fouled off a couple pitches before this during this AB. Waiting for one mistake, and this is it. That is a hanging changeup. Even as bad as things have been for Prince Fielder, he knew he got a hold of this one.
The only chance the Astros had there was if he had possibly hooked that foul, but really wasn't close. So 4-2, Texas takes the lead. As Elvis Andrus, man who started that 3-run 3rd inning with a 4-pitch walk. Just the 4th home run of the season for Prince. He hit one back on April 6th, hit another one on the 19th, and did not hit another one until May 29th. First one of June. The ball is hit high in the air to Marisnik in left center field. He'll make the play. Moreland, who doubled, drove in a run back in the 3rd inning, the first run of the day for the Texas Rangers. Texas leading 4-2. It's in there for a strike. Well, Mike Stanton talked about it on the pregame. One of his keys, keep the ball in the yard. That ball left the yard in a hurry. Moreland hits that one to the right center field gap. That'll get in the gap and go to the wall. And Moreland cruises into second base with his 3rd double in the last 2 games. 2nd double of the day.
So often you hear pitchers, when they are not going well, they're not executing their pitches. It was a poorly executed ball that Prince Fielder hit. Again here, if you're going to go up in the zone, you want to see guys go up in the zone with some velocity because it's tough to catch up. If you take a couple miles an hour off your fastball and decide to go up in that zone, if you're not perfect with that pitch, that's what's going to happen.
Now the Rangers with another man in scoring position, a run in here in the inning. Astros scored 2 at the top half of the 3rd inning. Rangers answered with 3. And now Texas with a solo home run for Prince Fielder with a run in here in the 4th inning. Two runs on 4 hits. The Astros have left 5. So they've had some opportunities and they've had some traffic. Martin Perez able to close the door when he needs to. Way outside, a swing and a miss.
Just glad nothing happened to Evan Gattis. That was clearly a cross-up right there. Wow, he was going down to block that pitch. Oh, man. Then he got a swinging strike out of it. So Gaddis is healthy and you get a strike out of it. Okay, regroup.
A lot of moving parts. He just smothered the baseball there. A ball and 2 strikes. Chris Davinsky continues to warm up in the Astros bullpen. One out, the 1-2. Yank that one outside. 2-2. Orland leads away from second. Ryan Holiday takes ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Bottom part of the order has really gotten it done. Fielder hitting in the 6th spot. He had the solo home run. Orland with a couple of doubles in the 8-hole. Brian Holiday is 1 for 1.
It was a mistake. Holiday got a little quick on it, thankfully, for Colin McHugh. When you're pitching in a hot day like this in a ballpark like Arlington, you wonder if that's having any impact on the grip that Colin McHugh has coming towards home plate with some of the pitches that he has. The only one that wanted to pitch on days like this might have been Gaylord Perry.
Gaddis couldn't quite hold on to that one. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So the Rangers, I guess they're going to have some decisions to make as far as, do you stay with the 3 catchers or you make another move? Again, Robinson Chirinos recalled off of the 60-day disabled list earlier today. That was right before the game. And Luke Jackson, who pitched last night, relief pitcher, sent back down to Round Rock. That's a good at-bat for Holiday. He's really making Colin McHugh work. 3 balls, 2 strikes on a warm day here in Arlington. Got him on the swing and the miss. 2 away.
Got to be with the off speed. Sure, it's down in the zone. Good job staying down, throwing that hard breaking ball.
Well, McHugh is 4-0 in his career against Texas. No Astro pitcher has beaten the Rangers 5 times. Keuchel, Oswalt, and Wandy Rodriguez, the other Astro pitchers that have 4 wins against Texas. And needed some more run support if he's going to be able to do that today. His team trailing 4-2. Jurickson Profar, the leadoff man. Single back in the 3rd inning. He has hit in every game since being called up. Profar now hitting .385. Seen him play 3 games at 3 different positions in this series alone. Mitch Moreland with his 2nd double of the game leads away from second base. 2-0. Now it's 3-0. I think the heat's taken a little bit out of the crowd today too. A little flat.
Could be. Got to give him credit for being out here, just attending this ball game, but it is a red hot smoking day.
That's in there for a strike. 3-1. Profar made his major league debut at the ripe old age of 19 years old. Now 23. So trouble staying healthy. That's been the issue for Jurickson Profar. There's a pitch. That one hit along the left side through the hole. They'll hold Moreland up at third base, but Profar yet another hit. That's got to get him up around 390.
That ball wasn't well struck either. Just redirected in the perfect position. Changeup just kind of slows down the bat a little bit to get the barrel on it and just puts it in the right spot. We've seen that a lot of times from the Texas Rangers.
Now AJ is out. Colin McHugh is done. Chris Davinsky comes in. We step away. Back in a moment. For 3 2/3, Chris Davinsky hits the baseball for AJ Hinch's team. Tough day today for Colin McHugh. As you take a look at the numbers for Davinsky, coming into his 15th game of the season, 4 of which were starts. Now this is his 11th relief appearance. He's pitched well against Texas.
Yeah, he has. You're looking to see him extend a little bit of this ball game too, and hopefully push that bullpen back, because Colin McHugh had to get knocked out of this game so soon. Good fastball, changeup, the occasional curveball. Go ahead, Kevin.
For the first time in this series, worked 2 innings in relief Friday night against Oakland. They will face Ian Desmond. And Desmond right at Altuve. 1 pitch, 1 out. And finally, maybe a little poetic justice there, as that ball was crushed. Rangers get a home run. They lead 4-2. Baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa home run to Houston Children's Charities. With Jeff Blum and Julia Morales, Kevin Eschenfelder back with you here as Alan Ashby continuing to be on the mend. Get well soon, Ash, as he's dealing with the laryngitis. He'll be back soon. Altuve right back at Elvis Anderson. He'll throw across, one away here in the 5th inning.
We say we take a look at our Ford spray chart. Carlos Correa coming up, hot and cold zone, swing percentages. Now these are based on major league averages and what Carlos Correa has done. The interesting part for me is this part right here. That middle part of that strike zone where you'd think that Carlos Correa would really be starting to crush that baseball and take advantage of some mistakes. Just hasn't yet. Or he might be just a little too passive because there was a heater right down the middle. But the reason he took that pitch is because Altuve grounded out on the first pitch. So he had to take that pitch according to baseball etiquette, yes.
Back-to-back 90-mile-per-hour fastballs. That one at 91. First two-seam fastball was at 93. Just like that, Correa down in the count, 0-2. Not a lot of wasted motion. You're seeing two opposite ends of the spectrum right now with Davinsky and a lot of moving parts, a lot of things going a lot of different directions. Stepping towards the first base dugout, kind of throwing crossfire. A limited motion when it comes to Martin Perez. Does have the leg kick, but it's not much to the windup. Texas leading 4-2. Scored 3 in the 3rd, 1 more in the 4th on Prince Fielder's first home run since May 29th. It's outside a ball, 2-2. Correa bounces that one to Profar. He throws across and got it. Well, Correa was getting down the line and he comes up hobbling after he crosses first base.
It's down on the ground. That's not good at all.
He may have jammed that ankle when he stepped on the bag. We'll see.
Well, it was a high throw coming over to first base. And when Moreland took that throw on the outside part of the diamond, we'll get a look at the replay. Watch when Moreland reaches up, Carlos Correa ducks down, and I think that's what led to him maybe hitting that base a little awkward. It might have gotten on the outside of the base and twisted that ankle.
See if he, see the infield side. Watch this.
It's that left ankle. Yep, right off the back of the bag. That's not good.
Still down, being attended to. You could tell he knew too that rather than trying to walk it off, he knew that it was a little bit more than just something you can walk off.
Really nothing they can do on the field right here. All A.J. Hinch is trying to do is assess the damage in Carlos Correa's mind and assess, does he want to risk putting that young infielder back on the field, or are they going to give him a chance to get out there, ice it up, allow it to heal up a little bit? But the way he's walking right now, I'd say he's out of this ball game.
Make that long walk, and if it doesn't loosen up by the time he makes that walk, it's not going to. Still, as you can tell, putting all that much weight on that ankle. Right over the top of the bag. Kind of hit on top of the bag and slid down and over.
Yeah, and ankles are not fun, and anybody who's had a sprained ankle knows that they can linger for a little bit too. Sometimes those ligaments get stretched out. It takes them a while to get back. But Again, you're playing a high demand position like shortstop. Mobility is key.
So we'll wait for word. And Evan Gattis will step in with 2 outs. Gattis fouls that one off. Gattis 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly. Drove in the Astros' first run of the game. Hit a bullet to right field. It's inside. Skip out of there. Take a look at it one more time as he comes across the top of the bag.
So ducking down right there, he kind of loses track of where he's at. Because that's not where players are taught to hit first base, and that's not where guys like Carlos Correa hit first base.
Gattis lines out to first, and that'll do it here in the inning. So after 4.5, Texas continues to lead 4-2. First time ever. You're looking at Astros shortstop Jose Altuve. Carlos Correa is out. Tony Kemp comes in and plays second base. There's a logical explanation why Altuve's got to move over. Is because Tyler White is your designated hitter. Can't move him in and replace Marwin. Marwin, the versatility that he brings, but Tyler White, the other first baseman, is the designated hitter today. You can't lose him.
Yeah, if you move him to first base, then all of a sudden the pitcher becomes a factor in that lineup. And Altuve playing short for the first time. Tony Kemp out there. We're seeing him for the first time at second base here in the big leagues. Played a lot of left field since being called up. But again, Altuve takes ground balls all over the place, and we've seen some of these shifts. He's not foreign to being on that side of the diamond, but interesting manipulation of the lineup.
That's in there for a strike. Davinsky in his second inning of work. In there for strike 2. Omar Mazara continuing to just absolutely rake. RBI single in the third. Now a .368 hitter. That one tapper right back to Davinsky. He'll throw him out. There's one away. Rougned Odor. The Astros have pitched him tough in this series. That has been hard to come by. He's been a tough out for Astro pitching. He's 0 for 2. Flied out to center in the second inning and struck out in the third.
about Altuve playing in his 718th game? Or, I'm sorry.
And with the shift, he's lined up on the second base.
No, his 730th game. But now he's back playing shortstop at second base.
Yes.
But he started 707 games at second base, 9 at DH.
Stay versatile. Keep you in the lineup. That hitting about 330.
I'm sure he's worried about staying in the lineup, right?
So Tony Kemp, who's done just about all of, he has DH'd a couple of times, or at least once. He's played in left field since being called up. The second baseman by trade. Here is shortstop Jose Altuve. Makes the play and gets room that Odor was busted it down the line. Got him by a half a step.
Good play by Jose, recognizing Odor running on a not so well hit ball. Watch him get himself in good position to make a strong throw. Quick little shuffle and then a bullet.
Ryan Rua's turn. A 333 hitter hits this one to right field on a line, and George Springer is there, and Davinsky with a perfect and a short fifth inning. After 5, the Rangers lead 4-2.
Today is from Jeff Hewson on Robin Ventura. All I could think about when it was happening is, what is Robin thinking? What was Robin thinking?
I think he was thinking, I shouldn't be doing this about halfway out.
No, there was a momentary, I shouldn't do this, and then he gave in to the dark side and ran out there and paid the price for it. Well,
I think Nolan had talked about that it had happened earlier in his career. Dave Winfield came out there, and he knew that Winfield, you know, it was no time to be passive. Let's just say that. At that point, it's better to hit first than see. You know what he's coming out there to do.
If your last name is Ventura, you want to stay away from those brawls in the middle of the diamond, don't you?
Yeah.
Your Donovan Ventura for Kansas City found that out.
Have they made a ruling on that?
I have not heard. There's going to be.
Manny Machado got into it.
Yep.
At 99 miles per hour.
He takes it and then just charges out there. I was pretty impressed that he took the hit by pitch and then proceeded to go out there. I actually really appreciate that Machado went to the mound. So often these days we see a guy get hit and all of a sudden he's pointing, yelling, not doing anything, walking down to first. So that part I appreciated. But if the way I interpreted the video and how some of the Royals reacted during that fight, it looked like a couple of them were a little annoyed that they had to go out there and protect Ventura again.
Salvador Perez.
Yeah. Well, catchers are taught to go out there and keep the hitter from getting to the mound. And Salvador Perez had no intention of keeping Machado from getting to Ventura.
And I mean, just my opinion, but you get the feeling that, I mean, Perez knew what was going on. He knew that Machado was going, because Machado didn't waste any time.
Yeah, when the first 2 pitches, he couldn't get his glove on it. He was throwing so far inside, and there it is. So leading up to it, that was the first at bat. Machado flew out. Then right here, see, Salvador Perez put the mask on top of his helmet. He's like, I'm going to watch this fight. And then just chaos ensued.
Ventura, obviously, not his first rodeo as far as that's concerned. Andrus to the backhand side. He'll get Marwin. Marwin 1 for 3 on the day.
There's hesitation in Machado. The good catcher would have gotten out there and got him, and then he just kind of pushed him to the side, got out of the way, and let him have at it. This is whoop. Man. I like this Babe Ruth speed we're watching this at too.
Salvador Perez just threw him to the ground and said,
and took off.
I'm done. And he started watching his back, kind of like that owl we saw earlier. Valbuena pops this one up. Orland can't quite get to it. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Astros trailing Texas 4-2. Astros 2 runs on 4 hits. They've left 5. Texas 4 runs on 7 hits. They've stranded 4. Astros got a 2 spot in the top of the 3rd inning, and Texas answered back with a 3 spot in the bottom of the 3rd. And then Prince Fielder with a solo home run in the 4th. That's where it stands right now. Valbuena. Perez will throw him out.
How about the ruling? We're just talking about it as you look back at a fight on May 15th where Rougned Odor got 8 games and talked his way down to 7 games in this one for landing this punch on Batista. Bob Nightingale just tweeted out that Machado's getting 4 games for his participation in that brawl against Ventura. This was nasty right here. You know what you see right there? You see Beltre holding up Batista and doing him a favor right there.
In the video, I mean, it's not taken out of context, but you got to remember too that, you know, Batista was, you know, he had gotten drilled by Matt Bush right before that.
Yep.
So he was.
But he was going after Odor with some intent with that slide.
(4-2) Texas as Carlos Gomez 0 for 2 with a fly out and a strikeout. This has not been a game played at what you would call a swift pace. Carlos Gomez homered a couple of nights ago. And it seems like it's been the Rangers that have had so much traffic. But again, we're looking at a game in which the Astros are only down by 2 runs. Rangers won the first 2 games of the series by 1 run in each one of those, 6-5 and 4-3. Astros won 3-1 last night. Carlos Gomez takes a walk.
Enjoy a picnic buffet in the Minute Maid Park outfield with your favorite Astros on Sunday, June 19th. Picnic in the Park is presented by Wells Fargo and includes an autograph session and family-friendly activities. For tickets, visit astros.com/picnic.
Do it before it heats up. Well, it's maybe too late for that. Astros have won 9 of their last 12 and looking for a split here in Arlington. Tyler White steps in after the 2-out walk to Carlos Gomez. Tyler White, the DH today. That one hit into right field. Mazar going back, and that gives you an idea just how the ball will carry in this ballpark, but not quite enough as he makes the play on the warning track. Astros go down and leave a man. 4-2 the final.
broadcast is presented by authority of Houston Astros, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
Back here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Chris Davinsky on to face the Rangers for his third inning of work. Colin McHugh lasted 3 2/3, gave up 4 runs on 7 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 6. Davinsky now facing Prince Fielder, who hit an absolute rocket to get it out of here. His first home run since May 29th, just his 4th home run of the season. That's what he did in his last at bat. Out in front of that one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rangers have won 8 of the 9 head-to-head meetings with the Astros this season. The Astros snapping that 8-game losing streak last night. This year, 12 straight here in this building. Fielder hits that one into center field. Gomez coming on, and he'll make the play. Ball hung up a little more than I thought it was going to off the bat.
I agree. It didn't get the barrel on it. Got jammed a little bit.
There's talk a referendum will be voted on. We've talked about this in this series, but they will vote on a referendum that could fund a new stadium, a new ballpark for the Texas Rangers. Remember, this place opened in just what, 1994?
Yep.
A gorgeous ballpark, but on a day like today, you can see the need for a roof and that retractable roof and how much of a luxury it is for the Astros. That would ball is hit to left field medium for Jake Marisnik. Took a couple of steps over to his right. There's 2 away.
Such a luxury to have a roof on your stadium.
I just
a
love
retractable roof.
I love the way the Astros did it too,
Oh,
because
they
it's
did it
not like
perfect.
it's not. And you and I have talked about this. It's not like Citizens Bank in Phoenix, where it's just the roof that retracts, or even, you know, Milwaukee, it opens up a little bit in the outside as well when I think about all these the retractable roof ballparks. But, you know, that whole glass wall along the back gives you a feeling there is outdoors there, and you can actually see what is happening outdoors.
No, I couldn't agree more. And it's such a luxury, I would imagine, for an organization. But as a ball player, knowing that you had a retractable roof on your stadium, you knew you were going to play the game on time and finish it every time you had a game scheduled at that place. Didn't have to worry about delays, postponements.
What was it John Kruk said he hated playing in San Diego because there was no adventure to it. I think we knew we were going to play every day.
Exactly.
It was going to be about 75 degrees and sunny. Well, here's Mitch Moreland. Boy, back-to-back doubles in his last 2 at-bats. Takes that one for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pelted by
there's
blowing around up here.
Peanut shells flying around in here. Getting drilled.
Make some enemies up above us.
Messing with my hair.
That's a brave move by you yesterday.
I know, man. I had to get my hair cut.
You got a haircut on the road.
You have no idea the panic that was in me while I was in that chair. Can't even explain it.
There's a swing and a miss. Davinsky, a couple of strong innings for the Astros. We go to the 7th, 4-2 Texas.
4-2. Rangers lead it. Kick off your weekends at Minute Maid Park with the best fireworks show in town. The next Friday Night Fireworks Spectacular is a Star Wars themed show on Friday, June 17th. For more information, visit astros.com/fireworks or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Talking to the guys in the clubhouse after last night's win over the Rangers, you could tell there was a little bit of relief knowing that they can beat this team in this ballpark, but they were glad to get back to their winning ways. They've been doing so much of that here recently. Jose Altuve did mention, though, you can tell there's a different energy in this ballpark with the Rangers and the Astros. He said Astros fans are here in Arlington, and when the Rangers come to our place there in our ballpark, it's just a different energy. It makes it a lot of fun. And you can definitely tell that it almost feels like a playoff atmosphere at times between these two teams, guys.
You know, it's interesting, too, Julia. You know, chime in on this. Was it not so much maybe relief, but just for the first time in so long to be able to walk out of here feeling good about what you just saw?
Yeah, definitely. There was a sense of confidence last night when they were talking to us, and just they got that feeling back of, this is how we play ball. We know we can win. There's no need to feel disappointed tonight. Let's get back at it tomorrow and get another one. You know, I mean, everything in the past, it almost disappeared at that moment, knowing that we'll just come back to the ballpark and do what we do the next day. So back to the grind, guys.
Yep. Jake Marisnick steps in. He's hit a couple to the warning track as Tony Barnett comes in to pitch for the Texas Rangers. Barnett, look at his 25th appearance. And, you know, you look at it, another 6-inning performance today by a Texas Rangers starter. That's in there for a strike. 92 miles per hour. Jeff Bannister not afraid, not shy to go to that bullpen. 3-2 with that 2.92 ERA. With 5.79 ERA in his 4 appearances against Houston this season. Marisnick hits that one on the ground. This could be a tough play. Profar threw it away. Marisnick, he's going to go to second base. Well, a good start to the 7th inning for the Astros.
Yeah, that's a great start.
Maybe the inexperience of Profar at third base coming way over in front of Elvis Andrus. That was going to be a tough play either way.
Yeah, it was going to be a tough play, but when you've ranged this far to your left, you could see Profar in his first start at third base. That momentum of that spin after making that catch is why that ball was yard sailed to the right of Mitch Moreland over there. Had no chance to knock that ball down. And Elvis Andrus having a little bit of a talk with Profar right now. I understand your range, you're playing a new position, but I got your back.
So it's ruled a single and an E5. So Marisnick is in scoring position with nobody out. We turn it over to the top of the order with George Springer. Springer 0 for 2, walked and scored in the 3rd inning. Astros trailing 4-2 here in the 7th. They took a lead last night in the 7th inning as they won that game 3-1. That's inside a ball.
Right-handers are having a tough time against Tony Barnett. 226 against him. Left-handers hitting 372. But again, bottom part of the order, Jake Marisnick getting on base. Now you can turn it over and you got the top of the order.
That one hit right back up the middle off of Barnett. Andrus scoops, throws. That was just a lucky bounce for Texas as the ball went off of Barnett and right to Elvis Andrus. And Elvis Andrus holding his shoulder a little bit. It was a fortunate bounce for the Rangers.
Went Kelly Rudy on it right here with the skate save. Pretty good play by Elvis Andrus, and
gets the runner to third. Blummer with less than 2 outs for Altuve.
Yeah, you've got a couple innings left. What you would like to see is the Astros cut this lead in half, get it to 4-3. Really make things interesting. As soon as you push that run across, you start looking towards the next one. But Altuve has a big 3-run home run.
Astros shortstop Jose Altuve steps in. Carlos Correa appeared to turn his ankle when he hit the bag awkwardly in his last at bat. He left the game. Altuve moved over to shortstop, and Tony Kemp, who waits in the on-deck circle, is now in the 3-hole.
I wonder if Altuve is swinging at that pitch we just saw from Barnett because Tony Kemp is hitting behind him instead of Carlos Correa. Because I'm not too sure that Barnett's going to be over-aggressive in trying to throw strikes to a guy like Altuve who could swing it, tie it up with one swing of the bat.
That one hit up the middle, and Altuve does it again. An RBI single, and it's a 4-3 ball game as Marisnick scores.
But Altuve, in all of his greediness, finds a way to get a hit, finds a way to get another RBI, doing a great job with those wrist numbers. That ball well out of the zone.
Another knock, another run batted in. He's now 2 for 4. Had the big 2-run double last night, now makes it a 4-3 game here in the 7th. And Tony Kemp steps in now from the left side. See if Altuve got to be thinking as aggressive as this team has been on the bases. Altuve 18 for 19 in the stolen base categories. You can see the numbers on Tony Kemp. That was 16th big league game.
I wouldn't mind seeing Tony Kemp lay down a bunt right here, test Profar.
Well, Profar playing way in on the grass. Instead, Kemp hits that one high and deep to right field. Going back up to the wall and makes the catch right at the wall. As Mazara had his right hand on the wall, left hand on the wall, and made the catch. And now there's one, make it 2 outs.
Tony Kemp may have gotten himself one. Looks like he got a little bit off the end of the bat, but it had good trajectory off the bat. Some serious hang time here in this day game. We'll have to wait for another opportunity.
And now it's Evan Gattis. 2 outs and a man on. Colin McHugh started. Chris Davinsky came in relief. He retired the 7 men that he has faced. Now the Astros here in the 7th have pushed a run across to get it to 4-3. Marisnick with a single. Went to second on a throwing error by Profar. Went to third on the ground out by Springer, and then Altuve with the RBI single right back up the middle. Astros with a run in here in the 7th. Gattis takes down low, 1-0. He really is amazing. 18 out of 19 in the stolen base category. Tied for second in the big leagues with those 18 bags. Gattis facing Tony Barnett in relief of Martin Perez.
Got 32 extra base hits, 21 doubles, triple, 10 home runs. There's literally nothing Altuve cannot do.
Play shortstop on that list as well now. Gattis hits that one into right center field. Coming in as Mazara drop in front. And with 2 outs, Altuve was able to be running with the pitch, and he gets to third base. So now first and third as Gattis gets his first hit of the series.
He's got some good numbers against Hamels and Perez. Kind of shocking to see that is his first hit.
It snapped an 0 for 13 for Evan Gattis.
A little bit of a cutter from Barnett. Great location, but just off the end of the bat, drops in front of Mazara. Extend this inning.
Now meeting of the minds.
I'll take your word for it. Learn all about Minute Maid Park with a behind-the-scenes look at historic Union Station, luxury suites, the Diamond Club, and more. For more information, visit astros.com/tours or call 713-259-8996 to schedule your tour today.
You know, they talked about the retractable roof stadium that they're wanting to build here, be right next to this one. But this is a beautiful ballpark. It is hot in the summer. There's no question about that. Not exactly breaking news there, but make it a little more comfortable for the fans. What's your favorite ballpark?
I loved playing in all the West Coast stadiums. I love playing at Dodger Stadium just because it was one of those ballparks I went to as a kid. But Minute Maid Park was an absolute blast to play in. I had some great games there. Liked playing here. I did not like playing at the Big O in Montreal. That was miserable. Wrigley Field is on that list also, shockingly enough.
Didn't like it.
Nope. I liked the atmosphere. It was a great place. The fans were awesome. The energy was great. But that was one of the worst surfaces I've ever played on.
So Marwin in a situation here, a chance to tie this game up with a swing of the bat. Runners at first and third. He's ahead in the count 2-0. You know, my favorite ballpark, just from an aesthetics, and obviously I'm looking at it at a totally different situation as you were looking at it from a player's perspective. It's Pittsburgh.
Well, Pittsburgh's gorgeous. I love playing there too.
It looks beautiful on television, and it's gorgeous in person as well. Great setting. The 2-0 with 2 outs. Runners at the corners. Now 3-0. Bat Boy jumped out of that dugout. I thought, here they come.
Bat Boy was going to make the pitching change.
Go get him.
That would have been priceless. Just Bat Boy sprint to the mound. I got him.
That would have been. That would have made some news. The 3-0. That's in there for a strike.
They can do it again if you're Marwin.
Yep. 1 for 3 today. Marwin with an RBI single in the 3rd inning. He's got Gaddis at first, Altuve at third. Altuve drove in Marisnick with an RBI single. Went first to third on Gaddis's single to right field. Now Barnett steps off, wants to collect himself. Good hitters count here for Marwin Gonzalez. 3-1 with 2 outs. Good 3-1 cut.
Yeah, let it rip.
3-2.
Like it. Got himself a fastball and he decided to let it go. Didn't hold back.
Yeah, if you're swinging 3-1, pull out the driver, and that's exactly what he did right there. Came up empty, but now it's 3-2, and Gaddis will be off with the pitch.
Now you shorten up a little bit if you're Marwin Gonzalez. Make sure you get the barrel on it, hit that ball hard somewhere. You find a gap, Gaddis will be off to the races.
The 3-2 with 2 outs in a 4-3 game. Marwin hits that one right at Odor. Hit it on the button, but Odor makes the play, and the Astros are turned away, but not before they put a run on the board. We go to the middle of the 7th. It's 4-3 Texas. By M.D. Anderson. Remember this one, 1999. Bobby Valentine gets the heave-ho, ejected in the 12th inning. But he's not done. Puts on the fake mustache and the sunglasses. You know, you get a 2-game suspension.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see Bobby Valentine in there anywhere.
Right behind Oral Hershiser. At the Anderson Cancer Center, this moment in history.
Oh, what a personality.
Yep. Managed here for quite some time. You know, there was the story that they were in Japan, where he was managing in Japan, and Nolan Ryan was over there, and he was out to throw out the first pitch, and they have the manager stand in, so that they wanted Bobby Valentine to stand in at home plate. And Nolan was telling me this story. He said, be loose up there, because I'm not exactly sure. He threw a pitch, and Bobby Valentine backed away from it and lost his footing.
Oh no!
And tripped and rolled over backwards. This was less than 10 years ago.
That's special. He's not afraid of having all eyes on him.
Bottom of the 7th inning. As Brian Holiday, the number 9 hitter, comes up. Holiday singled with an RBI single and scored in that 3rd inning. A 3-run 3rd inning for Texas. Prince Fielder with a solo home run. Rangers are on top 4-3. Astros got one back in the 7th. Altuve with an RBI single. Chris Davinsky working to his 8th batter. 7 up and 7 down so far. Came in relief of Colin McHugh. Holiday hits that one high. Barisnik and Carlos Gomez over, and Gomez will make the play. Is he working the Groucho Marx?
Do you want to know exactly what that is?
Yes.
You know the sticker eye black that they put on there? He just took 2, flipped them upside down, and put them on his upper lip. Pretty effective.
And people went as Bobby Valentine incognito for Halloween that year?
Better believe it.
Well, Jurickson Profar, Astros have something in common with every other pitching staff in baseball. They've had a hard time getting him out. He's 2 for 3. Davinsky that time with that changeup, 79 miles per hour, and Profar was way out in front of it. Martin and Perez and Colin McHugh, the starting pitchers in this one. From a 79-mile-an-hour changeup, and then bringing a little heat there. A lot of heat, and it's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Texas leading 4-3. Again, the changeup.
Looks like a Bugs Bunny changeup coming in there.
That is crazy. A 923 on base OPS, on base plus slugging, with 2 strikes. There's 11 games.
Not easy to do.
That would be hard to do 3-0. Forget 2 strikes. It's been that kind of run for him. His 12th game since coming to the big leagues. And he has hit in all of them. Another multi-hit game today for Jurickson Profar, just 23 years old. The 2-2 from Davinsky. Got him. He throws that changeup. You called it the Bugs Bunny changeup, and then he comes back with that 4-seam 93-mile-per-hour fastball. He pitched Profar tough there.
These were well-executed pitches. He knew he had to dial it up against the guy swinging the bat so well, but again, go up in that zone, 93. Tough to get to it.
Ian Desmond 0 for 3. Lined out. He was the first man that Davinsky faced. He hit a bullet right at Altuve, who was playing second base at the time. Altuve has moved over to shortstop. Correa left the game after coming down awkwardly on top of the base at first base. It's inside a ball, 2-0. If you missed it, Correa walked off the field. He stayed down on on the grass for, I don't know, maybe a minute, and then he was able to pop up and not exactly sprint off the field, but it wasn't as if he was limping a little bit, but hopefully not too serious with Carlos Correa.
Just try and keep that swelling down in that ankle. Doesn't clog that thing up. Here's another look at it. Watch that left foot right there.
Yeah, I have a feeling there will be an ice bag in his carry-on on the plane to Tampa. Astros will head on this three-city road trip. They play the Tampa Bay Rays tomorrow. Lance McCullers will be on the hill in the first of that three-game series. Goes against Matt Andriese, who's 4-0 with a 2.52 ERA. See that game tomorrow, starting with the pregame show at 5:30, and there is a walk to Desmond. That ends a string of 9 straight retired by Chris Davinsky. They'll bring up Nomar Mazara. Mazara 1 for 3, had that RBI single in the 3rd inning. Hitting .322 with 10 home runs. Think about how he leads just about all rookies in every conceivable offensive category. The 0-1. Mazara hits that one on the left side. That one's out of play. Uh-oh.
Don't do it.
Boomstick.
You may feel like Julian now, but after that, you're not.
Good luck with that.
Wow.
You have to pace yourself with that thing.
Yeah, and
You're
have
supposed
about
to get it before the game starts.
have
and
a
maybe by the end.
family of 6 to help you out.
I was going to
that
say,
too.
you
I
break
look
it
at
up
my
into a
friends.
week-long meal plan? Gosh.
Hope you refrigerated. Scott Feldman gets up, starts throwing for the Astros. You know, a luxury that A.J. Hinch has really had, it's kind of flown under the radar a little bit. That long relief does that from time to time. It's been Feldman, a guy that's been able to eat up some innings out of the bullpen. Davinsky's another guy. You know, you could throw Mike Feliz into that as well earlier on, or at least as of late, he's been more of a one-inning guy. But before that, a guy that could really eat up some innings out of that pen as well. Usually that's not a big factor until you start talking about a team that's played as many extra inning games as the Astros have. Tony Kemp is there to make that play.
They got away with one there.
Yes, they did.
No, but getting back to your point about the bullpen, yeah, there are several multi-inning guys down in that bullpen for AJ, which has come in handy with the extra inning games that they've had to play. But it also helps pushing that bullpen back when you do have guys come out of the game like McHugh did after 3 2/3 innings pitched. The only downside is you lose them for a couple days after they throw those multiple innings.
That went a little bit. Barwood had to corral that one. Wasn't an easy play. Oh, the fans love it when the visiting team throws over to first base.
Just one more thing to rag on the other team about.
There goes Desmond. Ball hit in the air. The left side, Valbuena going out. And he makes the play. We go to the 8th. A one-run game. Texas leads 4-3.
And Rangers out in front of the Rangers, 4-3. We have a winner in our Chevy Stroh poll. Thanks to all who voted today on draft day. We asked you which component of modern team building is the most important. You voted for the draft, 61%.
If you voted correctly, give yourself a pat on the back.
Well, we're going to take a look at this is all-time notable first round picks. Here we go. But this is all-time in the history of the Astros.
I got a beef with this list.
My goodness.
What's your problem?
Wait, what's
Astros have the 17th pick this year. You know who the 16th pick in 1997?
Was he out of Notre Dame?
No. He was out of Rice University.
Ah, Lance Berkman. Yeah, he slipped in the draft. J.R. Richard was a #2 overall pick.
Those are great names, though.
Floyd Bannister was a #1 overall pick.
That's another team we could manage. That list right there.
Here's Luis Valbuena to lead things off in the 8th inning. How about that when you would go, I mean, you know, the pitching staffs talk about, obviously, the ones a lot of people remember with, whether it was Mike Scott, then coming back with Nolan Ryan, and, I mean, you know, Jim DeShay's in that staff as well, Bob Nepper. But then you go back to thinking about taking it even further back. When you had JR and Nolan, and then you had Joe Niekro that you could throw in that mix, and a guy like Ken Forsch.
Well, that's what's entertaining about talking to Ash about some of those pitching staffs he's caught. I mean, it's big name after big name. Those guys, you talk about a group of guys having competition between themselves as far as a rotation, who can outdo the next guy. It was pretty amazing stuff.
What is it, 11 no-hitters in franchise history? It's
something like
crazy.
that.
The Padres and the Mets.
Well, Mets have that Yohan sent down, right, but the Padres are still looking for that first one.
How about number 17 picks?
Well,
that's the Astros. We'll have that 17th pick coming up tonight. Boy, Holiday not bad. Brad Lidge was a 17 overall pick.
Man.
Cole Hamels, who we saw earlier in this series.
A.J. Pollock, that was a huge loss for the Arizona Diamondbacks in spring training. He's been putting up some great numbers in the last couple years.
You know, Lance slipped to 17, if I remember
16,
right.
Yeah, 16. He was 16th, but he slipped.
I think so. I don't think they were hoping he would be there, but I didn't think they expected him to be there.
Pretty incredible, man.
Well, Valbuena strikes out here to start the 8th.
It's always fun to go back on all those drafts, too, and see who was picked before, how things shake out.
Well, there's Matt Bush now appearing in his 13th game. The left-handers have had their way, but the righties not so much. Look at that. 250-point difference, 275-point difference between the two.
There's a #1 pick, Matt Bush, the San Diego Padres.
As a shortstop, right?
Yep.
That one fouled over the right side, now to play. Yeah, the Matt Bush story well told, but the #1 overall pick of the Padres. Had all kinds of run-ins with the law, served time in prison after a drinking and driving incident, left the scene of an accident. Now getting his life together and now pitching for the Texas Rangers. Still, again, a kid that was drafted as a shortstop and now bringing in nearly triple digits as a relief man. It's in there for a strike. 90-mile-an-hour slider.
Not too bad. How about going back to that '97 draft, talking about Lance being the 16th pick out of Rice. Guess who the #1 pick?
97.
In 1997. One of his teammates, Matt Anderson.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they were pretty strong. That was a pretty strong club there at Rice. Hey, you know, we talked about Lance and coaching at Second Baptist High School. He and Andy Pettit. Well, you know, Woody Williams is the pitching coach at San Jacinto Junior College. They're in the JUCO World Series. There's a swing and a miss, and Bush gets his first 2 men. Academy Sports and Outdoors, and the Astros are hitting home runs for Houston. My man Jimmy Wynn, 223. He was hitting them It'd be a man to hit one back then. Look at the seats at the Dome. Glenn Davis, Cesar Cedeno. Guys like Bob Watson and Cheo Cruz. Most home runs through 1990.
It's a pretty cool list.
Where you got into Bagwell and Berkman. Colby Rasmus now will bat, as Rasmus will bat for Tyler White. And you saw the numbers just a moment ago, and you see what he's done against right-handers, and again, lefties hitting about 460 against Matt Bush. Skips that one in. I don't know if we're overthinking this or not, but if you're Bush, wouldn't you be thinking you're going to be very careful here with Rasmus, knowing that Marisnick is on deck, a right-handed hitter. 2 balls, no strikes, and 2 outs. We're in the 8th inning. The Texas Rangers leading the Astros 4-3.
Yeah, Colby's swinging a hot bat early on in this season, but still plenty of pop in that bat, especially here in Arlington. If you do make a mistake and he barrels it up, could go a long way.
Well, Bush has not even been close to the zone here. It's 3-0. Remember, Marisnick has had good swings today. He's had a couple in which he sent the center fielder, Ian Desmond, to the warning track.
Worst swing he took today, he got a base hit on.
Yep. Walked him on 4 pitches. So Rasmus is aboard. That'll bring up Jake Marisnick. Again, 2 to the warning track for fly outs. And he singled in that 7th inning. Scored the Astros' 3rd run of the game. It's 4-3. Difference in this one is Prince Fielder's 4th home run of the season. Rangers got 3 in the 3rd after the Astros had a 2 spot. And Fielder made it 4-2 with his solo home run in the 4th. The Astros trailing it now 4-3. There's that biting slider. Bush steps off. Rasmus gets back. Marisnick gets a sign. Well, Rasmus stole a base. He's stolen a base in this series. I should love to get him into scoring position here with 2 outs. The 0-1. 0-2. Rasmus has 4 stolen bases in 5 tries. Crowd getting up with 2 strikes here. 2 outs in the 8th. The 0-2 misses inside. 97-mile-per-hour fastball.
Just off your kneecaps, too. That ain't fun. I'm not sure we'll see Colby leaving first base at all just because George Springer is on deck. If Colby gets thrown out, Marisnick would have to lead off that inning.
Good point. Fouled it back. Just did stay alive at 1-2. Bush, the 3rd pitcher of the day. Perez started. Barnett came in. And now Matt Bush. McHugh and Davinsky have been doing the pitching for the Astros. Just did miss.
Arlington fans not happy about this. Slider just off that outside edge.
The count goes even at 2-2. Swing and a miss, he got him. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Rangers lead 4-3.
Performance is going to be brought to you by Kubota. It is going to be Chris Davinsky cracking that whip against these Texas Rangers, doing a great job. 3 1/3 innings of hitless baseball, doing a great job. Fastball changeup combination. Didn't need to use that curveball all that much because that changeup is such an effective pitch against some of the left-handed hitters in this Rangers lineup. Great effort coming in relief of Colin McHugh, who only went 3 2/3 innings.
Yeah, just one walk and a pair of strikeouts as he makes way for Scott Feldman, who will come here and pitch in the 8th inning. Former Texas Ranger. Feldman appearing in his 16th game of the season. Numbers on Scott Feldman, and again, he has been a bullpen saver since moving out of the rotation. It's ball 1. Facing Rougned Odor here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Odor 0 for 3. Flied out, struck out, and grounded out. Both teams with 7 hits. Rangers leading 4-3. 3-7-0. Rangers, the Astros, I should say, have left 9. The Rangers have left 5 in this game. 3-7-0 for Houston. 4-7-1 for Texas. Astros have a 6'7" pitcher on the mound, and a 5'7" shortstop, and a 5'7" second baseman going right now.
Shortest double play combo ever.
It's vertically challenged.
Sorry.
Odor swung one out of the zone, got him to chase. And evens the count at 2-2. The 2-2. Odor hitting that one to right. Springer going back, looking up at the wall, leaps, and it's a home run. Rougned Odor. He won game 1 of this series and now gives the Rangers a big run in the bottom of the 8th inning here in game 4 of the series.
Did a good job of waiting back on this breaking ball. Saw it and got it off the end of the bat, but well elevated and stayed in the air a long time. George Springer took a couple different routes trying to get to it, was unable to get back there in enough time to give an attempt to try and rob that home run.
Odora's 9th home run of the season. 29th run batted in, and that hits Ryan Rua.
Did he swing?
I don't know.
They said no, they checked.
They got him on the, maybe on the elbow.
I think that right elbow.
So Rua is aboard, and a tough start to this 8th inning for Scott Feldman. 5-3 Texas. Well, we've seen him do great things in that area of the ballpark. The ball actually rattled around in there and bounced back into the field of play. But Odor makes it 5-3. There's a runner, Rua. Nobody covered. That is where you get the confusion of guys playing different positions. See how much he missed it by, about a foot. And on that steal, Gaddis got up to throw, but nobody was standing at second base. There was really a bit of a veteran move to know to not throw that baseball.
Yeah, it's a good thing he recognized that. Yeah. And the shortstop is usually the one out there giving the signs as far as open mouth for you. That means the second baseman will cover it. Then he'll close his mouth, kind of giving that me, meaning I will cover it.
So Rua, stolen base. He's in scoring position for Prince Fielder. Fielder's 4th home run of the season. Big blow in this game. You can hang out a wash on that one. It got out in a big hurry. A line drive home run into the right field seats. Two and one. Nobody out in the 8th. Prince Fielder, career .316 hitter against Scott Feldman. Got a couple of home runs. Gets this one in the air to center field off the end of the bat. Gomez coming on and makes the play. Makes that a tougher play, as that was a full swing from a big man who can hit it a long way. Gomez able to make the read, and there's one out.
Good hustle.
Brings up Elvis Andrus with one out here in the 8th. 281 hitter. Walked and scored in the 3rd inning. Feldman in relief of Davinsky. Colin McHugh just went 3 2/3. Just didn't have it today. Davinsky 3 1/3 hitless innings. Scott Feldman, who's given up a home run to Odor here in this 8th inning, working with a man on second base. Hit right at Altuve. 2 outs. Correa left the game, landed awkwardly on the bag first. Now Altuve has been moved over to play shortstop, with Tony Kemp playing second base. Ryan Rua at third. Mitch Moreland steps in. Struck out his last at bat after a pair of doubles in this game. Doubled last night as well. Been a struggle for Mitch Moreland this season. The average right at about 215, but against the Astros, he's a 316 hitter. And hits that one, cranked to right center field. Springer is right there. We go to the ninth. The Astros need 2 to tie. 5-3 Texas.
Congratulations.
Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Back here at Globe Life Park in Arlington, the Astros trailing as we go to the ninth inning, 5-3, and hard throwing Jake Diekman comes on for the Texas Rangers. He will face 1, 2, and 3 due up for the Astros.
You look at Diekman's numbers. He does not have a save on this season, making his 28th appearance. Sam Dyson pitched a couple nights ago, got his 8th save of the season, but in that inning that he pitched, gave up a couple of hits, had an earned run through 30 total pitches, so that might explain why Diekman is out there right now.
Yeah, Diekman got the win in that game a couple of nights ago. So Diekman, throwing gas a couple of nights ago, comes in here to face Springer, Altuve, and then Tony Kemp. Astros trailing 5-3. Houston winning last night's game in a 2-run game, 3-1. And I'd love nothing better than be able to push a couple across here. Now 2-0. Springer ahead in the count quickly. Now Diekman is one of those guys that you look at the splits, and he's pretty nasty against both sides of the plate.
Yeah, he does not look like a comfortable at bat.
Not at all.
Big, tall, lean kid. Steps towards that first base dugout, and then fires back across his body with 97 on that last pitch.
At 3-0. You could sense the frustration, too, with Diekman when he let that one go. I mean, he was not the least bit pleased with that effort. The 3-0. 3-1. Astros got 2 in their half of the 3rd inning. Rangers answered right back against Colin McHugh and put a 3 spot on the board. Prince Fielder with a solo home run in the 4th made it 4-2. That's outside. Ball 4. The Astros get the leadoff man on in the 9th.
Time for Playing to Win, brought to you by Toyota Tundra. Jose Altuve in this series. 4 games here in Arlington, and he has been swinging the bat extremely well. Just under 500 for that batting average, going 7 for 15. He is 2 for 4 today. He has got them in scoring position. He's gotten himself in scoring position. He's driving in runs, taking it upon himself to try and will this Astros team into this series split.
And Diekman out of the zone again. He walked Springer on 5 pitches after going 3-0, and now Doug Brocail will come out to the mound after ball one to Jose Altuve. Altuve, a 2-run double last night in the 7th inning, gave the Astros a 3-1 lead that they would never give up. He has just been a hitting machine. As we said, playing shortstop for the first time in his career. He is 7 for 50 in the series.
Kid's got a future.
It's that one on the right side. Popped him up. And Moreland makes the play. The frustration with Altuve that time. 30,145 here at the ballpark. And you talk about uncomfortable at bats. Lefty on lefty here with a man on. Here's Tony Kemp, who hit one to the warning track in his first at bat. Mazzara had a hand against the wall when he made that catch. Gaddis waits on deck. One and 0.
The control issues Diekman is having right now might be a good idea for Tony Kemp to maybe see a couple pitches. Because like you said, that is an uncomfortable spot to be in. Left on left. Major crossfire action coming from Diekman.
Right back up the middle. Odor fakes the throw. Now he'll throw it to second, and they get the double play. Springer had no choice but to stop, or he would have run into the double play, and that is how it ends.
That was not a fun position to be in as a base runner. Ball not hit well. Second baseman comes into the baseline. You have to stop in order not to get tagged and start that double play. But in turn, you end up being the final out of that double play.
A 4-3-6 double play ends it. The Rangers win it 5-3.